I have another creepy story about Epping Forest. This is about a couple of kids who, after their GCSEs, they beg their mum and dads if they can go camping in Epping Forest, but the mums and dads are like, absolutely not, no way. And so eventually they lie and they just say that they're staying at each other's houses when actually they take their tents and they go and camp in Epping Forest. It's 2 girls and 1 guy. They set those tents up and everything's fine. They're getting drunk, having a great time. But then when they get into those tents alone and they zip themselves up, they start to freak themselves out and they start to think that they can hear somebody going around and around the tent. So they're all shouting at each other to stop, like, stop pranking me. They're all thinking that it's a joke, until eventually they hear the voice of a man. It's the police. Come out. They come out and there is indeed a man standing there in full uniform. He takes one look at these kids and he can tell that they've been drinking, and he tells them they cannot camp here and that they need to leave immediately. They need to pack their stuff and go. At this point, one of the girls, she texts her mum and she says, "Mum, I'm scared I've lied. We are camping in the forest and there is a policeman here and he's not happy." When the mum receives this text message, she gets straight into the car with her husband and they drive to that forest as quick as they can to pick up their daughter and her friends. When they get to the car park, the place that they had arranged to meet the kids are not there. Her heart sinks. She knows immediately that something is just not right. And when she tries to call her daughter, she doesn't answer. So she does the next best thing and she calls the police. It's at this point that the police tell her that they don't have any officers on patrol and that isn't a police officer. Her and her husband get out of the car absolutely terrified. It is pitch black. They cannot see a thing in front of them. They're using nothing but their phone lights, and they start to scream their daughter and her friends' names in the direction that they said that they would be camping, but they can't hear a thing. They feel like they're being watched and they can hear branches snapping, and as people that have always lived in that area, they know that they should not be in this forest after dark. They find the children. They are all scared and they're crying. They were lost and they were walking around the forest by themselves. None of them have shoes on and they all tell exactly the same story. They were all in their tents separately when a man came over dressed as a police officer and told them all to get out of their tent and told them to start packing up their stuff. But after he saw the young girl on the phone to her mum, he quickly changed his mind and told them all to follow him. He then led them deep into the forest while screaming and shouting at them about how disappointed their parents will be when they find out what they've done, before completely disappearing. He just completely disappeared. All of the kids' parents, despite the fact that they were clearly quite drunk, believe that their children did genuinely encounter this person. You know what the creepiest part is for me? As somebody who has heard a lot of stories about all of this stuff in Epping Forest now, there was a guy, very well known, that was around like back in the 70s, 80s, who used to dress in a police outfit and try and get women out of their houses. He used to go around knocking, asking to use phones, and then apparently if people didn't answer, if the person didn't give their phone, their house would then be haunted. Even creepier than that is the fact that the children, they describe the uniform of the police officer in the same way that it would have been in the 70s, not a modern day police officer. So creepy. So creepy.